Okay, great. All right. Hello, everyone. So let's talk about something that is changing the entire aesthetics and wellness industry, artificial intelligence. All right, guys, don't roll your eyes at me. I don't mean robots replacing injectors, and I don't mean AI communication tools that don't sound human, right? These are things that are going to text patient back instantly, answer questions at 10 p.m., and even guide someone to putting down a deposit without your team lifting a finger. We are talking all things AI today. My name is Abby Honecker, and we are going to be breaking down how you can integrate this into your practice and not just learn what's out there, but how does this turn into six-figure income? All right, guys, so here's the truth. If you're not getting on board with AI, you are getting left behind. The practices who adopt this now are the ones who are going to be dominating the industry in the next few years. All right, so today I want to break down how AI works, and I specifically want to focus on communication. How can you transform your day-to-day communication with your leads? How can you nurture your current database? How can you nurture your upcoming consultations? How can you generate more revenue at your events? Okay, and this I'm not talking about oh, we're thinking about revenue. I'm going to actually give you real results of revenue that I have generated with my clients over the even in the summer months by integrating AI. So AI is not the future, guys. It's the present. Patients expect instant answers. They want communication that equals to conversations, right? And we want to have events with AI workflows that are going to get us big money, guys, big money. We want to generate that revenue. So if you do not have AI working for you, you're probably working twice as hard for half the money. I was talking to a client, I think it was, yeah, last week, and we were having a conversation about AI because I'm trying to get a gauge on how much do you understand AI? How much are we utilizing it? Are we utilizing it? And how can we integrate it to generate more revenue? And they made the comment that AI is just a glorified Google. And that told me all I need to know about this client. That told me exactly where I could generate them and give them the biggest wins. And, someone, once told me, a mentor, when I first started back in the space in wellness, a long, long, long time ago, she told me that time is money. And what you spend your time on is what's going to help you generate the most revenue. And so when I look at AI, I look at that as an opportunity to give me more time to focus on the things that I need to. I need to work on my business, right? I need to see more patients. I need to spend more time on this. And AI really comes in, and if it's set up properly, it can do that. And she basically said, Abby, what are you doing? Let's have this meeting tomorrow. And I said, I can't. Unfortunately, I've got to get my house clean and I've got to do this, but I can meet you here. And she's like, why are you cleaning your house? Why are you cleaning your house? And I'm like, well, because it needs done. And she was a single woman, no kids. That blew my mind, right? I'm a mom of 4 kids. She's like, time is money. Why would you spend time on that when you could be generating money for yourself and your clients? And that hit me really hard. And so ultimately, my entire life has always been about operations and efficiency, and AI is the next step in that. And I have embraced it, and I have embraced it hard with my clients. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is AI and communication via your virtual front desk. How many of you have incorporated AI into that process of your clinic, right? So, someone calls into your clinic after hours. What happens? Do you wait for the next day? Do you still check your voicemail? So instead of that, they get a friendly text back. They get a response. They get an answer. I know we've all used systems, we have Weave and we have Podium and everybody's incorporating AI, and I understand that. But, what are the answers to the questions that your clients are getting? The AI can even book those appointments right then, and you wake up, you come to work the next day, and you have new appointments on the books. This is
This
what
is what
AI is doing for my clients currently. So there's 24/7 availability, no missed calls, right? We have voice to text, indistinguishable from humans. Now, I get it. A lot of you have, come across those AI phone calls that, let's just be honest, are not that great. You can tell it's robotic. But I just demoed one because before I recommend anything to my clients, I'm going to talk to the creator. I'm going to meet with the company. I'm going to dive deep and to find out everything about them so I can find out whether it's a good fit for my client, right? So I did this AI, and this is, I did this AI call. It was a couple weeks ago, and it was like, call this phone number, and AI answered. I had no idea it was an AI bot, right? And it was like, how can we help you today? And I was like, I'm interested in Botox, and immediately, I get an answer. Absolutely, great. Would any of these times work for you? Boom, and I get a text message, and the text message had all of the available appointments, and the message on the phone was, just go ahead and select the appointment, and let me know if you have any questions along the way. So I selected my appointment. The phone call was the AI bot was like, thank you so much, Abby. We're looking forward to seeing you. Da 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 da. Here's your appointment. I've just texted you all of your pre-care work, your paperwork, everything that you need. We're really looking forward. Is there anything else I can do to help you today? I mean, I was just the ability of this was just so mind blowing that this is like, there's no human touch in this. This is happening after hours. This is happening on Sunday at 2 p.m. You're never missing opportunity, guys. So it can be trained to service your menu, and even think about it, your promos. We can reroute to a live team member if needed as well, because this is how old I am. Keep in mind, this is how old I am. That I was alive back in the day when the virtual phone was like, press 1 for this, press 2 for this, press 3 for this was created. Okay. And it was like, you're always screaming, representative, representative, 0, 0, 0, 0, right? Those days are gone. If you are incorporating AI as a concierge service to your clients, as your virtual front desk, there's not going to be that problem, right? We've already solved it. We're going to be able to train your AI. We're going to teach them to be you. We're going to be able to teach them about your services, and it's going to convert. You're never going to miss calls, and you're never going to miss opportunity. With one of my clients, I'm really, really excited about this. We just had a conversation today, and we're this close to getting everything launched with our AI virtual front desk. It's integrated with our EMR. We were just talking about how our front desk, our person that's nurturing our leads, she's overwhelmed. And we've gone over, we've been tracking our numbers. We're looking at our missed conversions. We're looking at our calls, and we're looking at our missed opportunities. So we're getting ready to launch any day AI, and we're going to be tracking that, right? We're going to be looking at all of the additional opportunities. And my goal is 20% higher conversion, 20% higher revenue from, front end revenue, just from incorporating this as their virtual front desk. One step in the puzzle of incorporating AI into your practice or clinic. Okay, the second thing is conversational sales assistant. So how do you incorporate AI into your sales process? We've been doing this with some of my clients. And listen, this isn't just about answering questions. This is about setting, nurturing those leads, overcoming objections, and collecting deposits. Guys, so it's really cool. I work with my practices, and I'm going to do team training. You're my client. I'm going to do team training. We're going to do objections. We're going to look at what does it look like when someone calls in? We're going to do sales training. That should still happen. This AI is never meant to replace humans, right? It's the perfect system. I'll talk about that later, but we want to make it so that it's a no-brainer. And when we're able to accurately train your AI to overcome these objections, and also move them into phase 2, to collecting deposits, to getting them booked, which is what I was able to do with that virtual front desk. But now let's take it a step further. Let's go into converting them into actual deposits, collecting revenue. This is where you incorporate that sales assistant in your monthly promos. You incorporate it in your sales event. I'm going to break down some really great results that I had with a client in summer months here in just a little bit, but it becomes a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you incorporate AI into this process, especially at the level that it's at now? And for the cost effectiveness of it, it's going to more than pay for itself easily, quickly. So remember, AI, it knows your objections. It knows the downtime. It knows the cost of the treatment. It knows the fear or concerns of the client. All of this is trained and built in. We can even build in, guys, my favorite thing, girl math, right? Not what you're paying, but what you're saving. What are your low monthly promo payments, right? It's going to make it feel very concierge. It's going to make it feel warm and fuzzy. And we know when someone enjoys their experience and they have a high client experience from lead to follow-up, price becomes irrelevant. Okay? So it's also going to be able, and it does with my clients that are currently implementing it or have implemented it over the last 6 months, promote offers, bundles, and memberships. What if you had someone, an AI agent, that not only could take an appointment and book an appointment, but could also recommend a membership to get, like planting the seeds and setting up that first appointment, that next appointment for success. So it feels very nurturing, right? It feels wonderful. It's like easy, it's quick, it's seamless, it's painless. And that's how AI is going to close those deals via chat or text. So AI is customer service, right? And sales. Keep that in mind, that you don't have to just think of it like, oh, I'm going to have AI answer my text messages or respond to Google reviews or answer my Facebook messages. But now I'm actually going to utilize it and implement it into my systems so that it's actually converting leads and generating me revenue. Okay. The next third phase is that pre-consult flow, that AI flow. Imagine, one of my most exciting tools right now that I'm working with my clients is that AI visual skin analyzer that you can incorporate into your booking process. So imagine your client books a call. And as soon as they book that appointment, right? And maybe it's AI that books the call, maybe it's human, maybe whatever that looks like. The call gets booked, they receive a text message, and now, boom, they're taken to a link that says, hey, click here, we're gonna analyze your skin, we're gonna prepare you for your call, just like you send your onboarding paperwork, your intake forms. Now they're getting their onboarding photos prior to, and they're doing them. It analyzes their skin. It tells them exactly what you offer because it's branded to you, and it sets you up for success. Now they get to look and they say, this is what I look like now, but if I had this treatment, here's where I am. So AI is now helping you build your consultation playbook so that the client is now, yes, I'm interested. Yes, I'm interested. And once they come into the clinic, your providers, let's be honest, some providers have a really hard time putting the big picture together, right? I know some of you are sitting here going, oh, like, it's just so frustrating because they're just one-offs, right? They're just doing what the client asks for, like we're at a pedicure station, as opposed to like really building out the big picture because they don't know what they don't know. But what if you already had before and after pictures to show the client before you ever did the service? What if you had what the client was interested in before they ever walked into your clinic? What if the seeds were planted before they ever walked into your treatment room? And now you have this amazing tool to nurture that consultation. So AI can start from lead, it can go into the sales and booking process, and now it's integrated into your consultation playbook. And then it's whatever treatments they do not decide to go with or they've opted into, but they're going to hold off on, it acts as a CRM to retarget them to say, hey, Abby, don't forget, here's what you're going to look like if you get this under eye treatment that you need, right? And so you're nurturing that lead to appointment, to consultation, to follow up, all the way through the process. And AI incorporated into this communication, SOP, whatever you want to look at it, is going to help you generate that revenue, and they're going to keep that client coming back to you because why would they go anywhere else? So it's a visualization. It's going to analyze their skin. It's going to personalize their treatment. It's going to give them their before and afters even before the treatment for easier upsells, and it's going to shorten that sales cycle. It's going to shorten that consultation time. I had a conversation about this today again. One of my clients was like, we're really trying to cut that back to 15 minutes. And then their provider or then their team members are like, he won't stop talking. And now we have this long, all of this stuff, and she can't move through. And now we're backed up. What if you were setting yourself up for success before anyone even opted in? And now you have to do less discovery. AI in communication with your client prior to coming in all aspects is going to make you more profitable. It's going to provide assistance, again, for those providers that have a really hard time putting the big picture together. Right? At all my clinics that I fractionally manage, I require that we put together a care plan. Where are we going to start? Where are we going to go over the next 3 months? And how are we going to maintain these results? Because we're results driven. I'm results driven. And ultimately, integrating AI into this platform and training it like you. Not like the clinic down the street, but training it like you and who you are and what you do best is what's going to give you better results and higher conversion rates. Okay, but let's not forget the follow-up and pipeline automation, right? I mentioned it a little bit with the AI analyzer and hitting them with CRM, but what if we can follow up so we don't drop the ball, right? This is where AI can really shine, guys, because ultimately, we're human, and human error is a real thing, and opportunities get missed, and no shows don't get called back, and people don't reach out. There's a lot of things that happen where there's revenue left on the table, and this is where AI integration can really help. Now, I know a lot of you have EMR workflows that if someone doesn't come in, boom, they get a text. And if someone hasn't been here in 3 months, and if you're not doing this with your marketing company or your marketing content manager, you should be doing your targeted patient outreach, right? That shouldn't change, right? But you want to integrate AI into it so that messages don't get missed when they reply. When something happens, they can automatically get booked right then from the no-show message, because now they're interacting with you via text, and your AI is taking place, and you're not having to use human to we're not waiting for a human to respond, right? We're letting our humans be humans at the front desk. We're letting our humans interact with other humans and nurture them and love them and be present with them. They're not focused in answering phones and replying to texts, and we're not having to wait 2 or 3 days to do that. So really integrating it in that post follow-up process where no shows get targeted automatically and response happens. Post treatment gets pre-written care instructions, your talks cadence, your lost leads, whatever that looks like, is all going to be nurtured, and that warm fuzzy feeling when AI is integrated properly. So you want to make sure that the fortune in the follow-up is done properly, because AI never forgets. Opportunity is not lost when you incorporate AI. We've had some really great results with my clients in incorporating that, not only in our in regular everyday life in our med spas, but in event workflows. And now I really want to talk to you about this, because if you set it up properly in your day-to-day, it's going to be really easy to integrate this into your next sales event. Okay. So before it even starts, you're going to personalize those invites. You're going to set up your RSV workflows, your reminders. Everything's going to be automated. Your segment invites, you're going to be able to separate VIPs from new patients. You're going to be able to RSVP and text and DM and auto add to calendar. Your AI captions. Don't forget Canva, your AI graphics and promotions. Lots of companies that we work with right now, or that I know that my clients are working with right now, have added AI into their stack, right? And it just is incorporated. But there's certain companies that add it on as an upsell, right? Get it, upsell, add it to your program, because it is going to make your life so much easier, okay? So once you integrate it into the invite system, it's not just going to be an invite, it's going to fill your room. It's going to bring in new participants. And I'm going to give you some real statistics here in just a second. But let's not forget, while you're at the event, it can make everything way more, way smoother and way more engaging. From whether you have a check-in process, we can incorporate AI. We've done it. It was amazing. It was so smooth. We're not writing down names and checking off when they came in, right? Boom, thank you. Boom, thank you. Everything is put in there. We have our skin analyzer that's at our event. We send them a text. They're doing it right there. Everything is done for us. There's no sitting at a Vizia or an AMA IQ getting checked, right? It's right in their phone, in their hand, and we can do multiple analyzations at one time. We can do SMS during the event through AI and connecting them, because I love to do consultations at events, right? I really like to get that one-to-one experience with our providers, and say somebody doesn't show up, our AI is on it and reaching out to people and trying to get that spot filled with people who are currently in your clinic. So there's a lot of things, because remember, events in med spas are not parties, all right? They're sales events, and AI can make it a true pipeline to revenue. Post-event monetization. This is huge. I had such great success with this. I will probably never do an event without it again. Real money happens after the event. How many times have you finished an event and never generated another dollar? Maybe you did targeted patient outreach. Maybe you got on the phone and called and you were able to generate revenue. We here at Diamond have had great success with that, right? Ultimately, when you kick in AI on top of those things, because you should still do all those things. I'm not talking about replacing. I'm talking about adding to. In addition, those thank you texts with special offers, those no shows to second chance offers, those limited deals to create urgency, but those leads are nurtured in workflows for months. For months, AI is able to retarget them because it's in gear. We've set it up properly for success. So an event ends at 9 p.m., your AI can keep selling till 9 a.m. the next morning. We did an event in June and it kept going for weeks and weeks. So I want you to think bigger. Don't think about, I can just have it answer text messages, or I added AI to my Canva, or I added AI to this. I want you to think about the big picture. We can slowly incorporate this into every aspect of communication with your practice, and it's going to generate you six figures or more. I guarantee you. All right. So, real story, real event. I want to break it down. Earlier this year, well, not earlier, in June, guys, in June, a month that ends in or begins in J, which we all know are the worst months in this industry. We had a sales event, and this was one of the first that they've ever done. And they were nervous, and they were nervous to do it, but I was like, guys, let's do it. Let's jump in, let's roll our sleeves up, and let's do it. So we followed our Diamond Accelerator blueprint timeline. I mean, that is the way to go. Success from beginning to end. We followed it to the nines and ultimately incorporated AI at every step of the journey. Okay, they didn't have a super strong aesthetics division, and that's what we really wanted to focus on. And so they had no membership program, no referral structure, and their med spa was underperforming. And so we implemented everything and we layered it with AI, invitations, RSVP management, reminders, and post-event follow-ups. Most importantly, okay. And here's the results from their first ever event in their clinic: $10,000 in ticket sales alone, $120,000 in payment for bookings for procedures, $145,000 in deposits collected, $104,000 in post-event follow-up within the first week. And we had 63 new prospected clients who had never been to our clinic before show up at the event. Total track revenue at the event was $384,000 and projected lifetime value was $500K plus, guys. Okay, this was not just a manual hustle. Now, yes, did we have manual work in this? Of course, we did team training. We followed again the Diamond Blueprint for Sales Revenue event to the T, every single step, but we incorporated AI in to back us up so no opportunity was missed. So that put together an event that was nearly $500,000 in revenue, their first event in June. So all the systems working together are how we put the pieces of the puzzle together. We had our team working, right? We had our marketing team murdering it, right? We had our AI stacked, and we had all of our event structure and SOPs perfectly aligned, and it was synergistic harmony. So you can't just do one. This doesn't replace everything. And this is where I think AI gets a bad name. People try to throw AI at something, just like they try to throw a peptide at a problem without good foundation. They try to throw AI without any systems, right? You can't just have AI without great marketing. You can't have AI without a strong team. But when you incorporate it all together, which is what I do for my clients, that's when you start to see that revenue really translate and ultimately better results and a better client experience for your clinic. So I know this kind of seems overwhelming, and some of you may be already doing it. Some of you are like, oh yeah, I'm doing this or I'm doing this. But if you're not doing any of it, literally jump in, because the first thing that you can do is really focus on that AI virtual receptionist, right? Like focus on your calls, focus on your text. That's where I see a lot of missed opportunity. That's where I can generate a lot of revenue for my clients right from the get-go by incorporating this outside of everything else that we do here in Systems to Scale to help build your business. The second thing that I recommend is really build up your follow-up process. Even outside of your EMR, which should be, you should have your workflows integrated with that, but really adding to it with your AI stack so that your clients are nurtured and loved and taken care of even after they leave your clinic. The third is going to be your event strategy. Now that you have your reception, you have your communication set and strong, you have your follow-up process set and strong, now you can really build out your sales process and incorporate all three of these into an event that is going to generate you six figures. The next thing is incorporating it into your pre-consult flow. How can you set your client up and your provider up for success before that client even walks in by incorporating AI? It's such a low cost per acquisition that it's a no-brainer, right? It's like that membership. You can't sell a membership if it's not a no-brainer. This system, these systems put together properly are absolutely a no-brainer. And the fifth thing that you're going to do, and this is something I'm not going to jump into today because I'm already running over, but it's tracking your revenue and everything that you touch properly. And you can track your revenue. You can track your numbers. I do this with all my clients. I help build out their AI agents. I help build out their dashboards so that we're able to track revenue like that. I can do a one-to-one in 2 seconds for an entire month, a comparison for a provider, and understand all their numbers by building out my AI agents. And that's something that we can touch on later in a future call. But really, AI adaption, it's everything at once. It doesn't have to be everything at once. Okay, guys, just start small. So start with that communication piece, move into that sales piece, move into that event strategy through follow-ups and really like diving in deeper. And then you can get into building out your consultation process and then tracking results. Okay, so what is that software? There's lots of software, guys. There's lots of software out there, and it's not one size fits all. Okay, so I'm happy to do a deep dive into what you're currently using. If you're currently a client at Diamond right now, just comment Diamond, and one of your consultants will get with you. If you're not a client of ours or mine, and you would love to, talk more about which companies would be best fit for your EMR or would be best fit so that everything integrates properly, comment Diamond, and we'd be happy to take a look at what you have, so that we can get you set up properly with the right tech stack for sure. Let me see here if there's any other questions. So right now I'm going to take some questions outside of the question that was just asked. If anybody has any, I'd be happy to dive into that right now. Let's take a look before let's see, chat. Let's see. Hi, everybody. What is that software? Diamond. We got some Diamond people commenting Diamond. Okay. So ultimately, outside of just what is that software, which one's the best? There are several, and I have my favorites, of course, because I dive deeper into that. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that it integrates with your EMR, it integrates with your CRM. And if you don't have those things, that we can build them out, because it's really important that all the tires are moving properly, and we don't want to have something here and something here and something here. Do we have any other questions before we kind of go through? So lots of people joining from Instagram. Welcome, welcome. It doesn't look like we have anything from anyone else. No. Okay, so basically, guys, AI, the big takeaway from this call is that AI is going to transform and can transform your communication, your events, and it's ultimately going to enhance and increase your revenue. And also, let's be honest, your patient experience. So that's exactly what we do here at Diamond. We help practices integrate AI so that they can scale without chaos. So remember, if you're interested in reviewing your stack or you want to know where to start, comment Diamond below and we will get connected with you. And remember that AI, it's not replacing your team, it's replacing the chaos. And it's helping you to free up not only your time, but your team members' time so that you can begin to work on your business and you can be more present with your clients. So if you're not getting on board, guys, remember, you're getting left behind. So if we don't have any more questions, okay, so if you love this training, share it with a friend or your team. You can catch the replay on our YouTube channel and join us every Wednesday at 2:30 Central Time on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I hope all of you have a great day and get in there and jump into AI.